Hello, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. Today we'll be looking at some special showcase foil cards from the Throne of Eldraine set. I've got them right here. Now, these cards are, in my opinion, some of the prettiest cards that Magic have made. Some of the style of the artwork is like that of artists such as Charles Vess or Arthur Rackham, and it's all very much in the fairy tale style. The set in general had a fairy tale theme to it, with references to Goldilocks and the Three Bears, witches' cottages, Hansel and Gretel, fairies, Jack and the Beanstalk, and lots of other fairy tale references. I've arranged the cards in colour from white to blue, black, red and green, and finally the single multicoloured card that was in the showcase set. Now these are alternate art cards, so they're not like the usual art for most Magic the Gathering cards, and the showcase frames were introduced in Throne of Eldraine. This is Ardenvale Tactician, a human knight creature. Now all these showcase cards have adventures on them, which is this area on the left, and that allows you, instead of casting the creature, to cast an instant or a sorcery spell, in this case Dizzying Swoop, and send the card on an adventure. The creature can later be cast from exile, so it's not lost completely. So these adventures are kind of a 2-in-1 card, where you have the option of playing an instant or sorcery, and then later playing the creature, or just playing the creature at its regular cost at the start. So this knight has a Dizzying Swoop adventure, which taps up to 2 target creatures. It's a creature human knight with flying, and it says, in a castle that prizes loyalty above all, the bond between knight and griffin is unmatched. Let's see if we can take a closer look at the art, if my camera will focus. It doesn't seem to want to. But you can see the whole card quite clearly, hopefully. The next card is Faerie Guidemother, a fairy creature with a Gift of the Fae sorcery adventure. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. The creature itself has flying, and it says, no one is so lost that a fairy can't find them. Costs 1 white mana to cast, and is a 1/1 creature. The foil on this is quite extensive. It's getting a lot of reflection and confusing my camera's autofocus. Some of the cards don't have much foil on them. Some have a lot. This one has a lot on it. Next we have the white card Giant Killer, which is a reference to Jack and the Beanstalk. Here you can see the Giant Killer and the broken Beanstalk around him. It's a human peasant creature which has Chop Down as an instant adventure. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. This is a rare card. It says, what size advantage? They never even see me coming. Next we have Lonesome Unicorn, a unicorn creature, which has a sorcery adventure Rider in Need, creating a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. The unicorn has vigilance itself. It's quite an expensive card. It's 4 colourless mana, or mana of any colour, and 1 white mana to cast, and it's a 3/3. Probably not the best value card, but it's got some very pretty art on it, and that's why I collected these 30 showcase foils. Next we have the Cloaked Giant, a giant creature with Cast Off as its sorcery adventure. Now this is a mythic rare, which is one of the rarest cards, and since it's a showcase foil, it's even rarer. The Cast Off adventure destroys all non-giant creatures, and the Cloaked Giant is a giant with 7/7 and vigilance. That's quite a large creature for white, the sort of size that most green creatures would normally be, or not most, but some green creatures. But giant is a creature type that's associated with white. Shepherd of the Flock. This has got some very nice art on it. You can see the shepherd there with his sheep over his shoulders. And there's some nice framing. This is a human peasant creature with Usher to Safety as its instant adventure. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. And it says, not all heroes carry swords. It's a 3/1, which is quite high power for a 2 mana creature. This one's not too bad, and it's an uncommon. Next we have Silver Flame Squire. Again, some really nice art here. There's a triptych with this Squire in the centre, a mermaid on one side, or some kind of nymph, and I think that's the Squire again on the right. Its adventure is on alert. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Untap it. And it says, beacons along the borderlands are lit at any incursion from the wilds. Now we have the start of the blue cards with Animating Faerie. Quite a lot of the blue cards that are in this set are fairies. This is a 2/2 creature fairy with flying, and it has the adventure Bring to Life. Target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. It says, a true puppet master has no need for strings. So here you can see the fairy that's brought to life, a puppet, from what looks like household objects. This is the most expensive card in this collection, and one of the most expensive cards I own. Brazen Borrower is a mythic rare, and again this is a showcase card, which is rarer than mythic rare, and it's a foil showcase card, which is rarer than showcase mythic rare. Brazen Borrower is also a very popular card at the moment. It's quite good value and it does a number of things. Its adventure is Petty Theft. Return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. It has Flash, Flying, but it can only block creatures with Flying. And it's got Power 3 and Toughness 1. The standard artwork shows the Faerie carrying a potion bottle, but this one is carrying a bunch of keys, which I think he's stolen. You can see this foiling on the eyes. Fae of Wishes, another blue fairy. This adventure is granted. You may choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game, reveal it, and put it into your hand. And the creature itself has Flying, with the ability to discard 2 cards and return Fae of Wishes to its owner's hand. This is a rare card. Again, I think we have some foiling on the eyes of the Fae. The next card is Hypnotic Sprite. A fairy creature with Mesmeric Glare as its instant adventure. That counters target spell with converted mana cost 3 or less. Hypnotic Sprite has Flying and is a 2/1 creature. Merfolk Secret Keeper, a Merfolk Wizard creature. Its adventure is Venture Deeper. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. It says, Merfolk Curiosity usually has dire consequences, but rarely for the Merfolk. It's a 0/4 creature. So, even though it doesn't have Defender, it's sort of a wall that you use to block other creatures from attacking you. And it only costs 1 mana to cast. This Venture Deeper ability can be used if you have gimmicks in your deck which help you get cards out of your graveyard. Or it can be part of a mill deck which relies on causing your opponent to run out of cards because their library is either in their graveyard or in exile. Next we have Queen of Ice, a human noble wizard creature. Its adventure is Rage of Winter. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And it says, whenever Queen of Ice deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Now we move on to the black cards. This is the Foul Meyer Knight, a zombie knight creature. It's an uncommon card, and its adventure is Profane Insight. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. It has Death Touch and is a 1/1 creature. Murderous Rider, a zombie knight creature. With the instant adventure, destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. This has lifelink, and when Murderous Rider dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library. I've come up against this card quite a lot in Magic the Gathering Arena, so it seems to be quite popular. Mainly, I think, for the instant ability. Order of Midnight, a human knight creature with Alter Fate as its sorcery adventure. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Order of Midnight has flying, but it can't block, and is a 2/2 creature. Must be a very large raven that this knight is riding. Or a very small human to fit on the back of a regular-sized raven. Reaper of Night is a spectre creature. Its adventure is Harvest Fear. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Whenever a Reaper of Night attacks, if defending player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, it gains flying until end of turn. This has got some quite stylized artwork on it. It's quite an expensive card too, at 5 colorless mana, or colors of any color, and 2 black mana to cast. And is a 4/5. Don't think it's the best value card. Next we have Smitten Swordmaster, which I looked at in my last ASMR video. It's one of the gimmicks in the Final Adventure Challenger deck for 2020. Because it's a human knight, and as you've seen beforehand, there are quite a few black knight creatures in Throne of Eldraine. Its sorcery adventure is Carry Favor, which allows you to gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. It has lifelink. It says, "My quest, why? To marry Ayara, or die trying." Now we move on to the red cards. Bonecrusher Giant, a giant creature with Stomp as its instant adventure. It says damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. This card is included in the Cavalcade Charge Challenger deck. And again, I've gone up against this card quite a lot in Magic the Gathering Arena. It's a rare card. The giant itself says, whenever Bonecrusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bonecrusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Not every tale ends in glory. Embereth Shieldbreaker, a human knight creature with the sorcery adventure Battle Display, destroy target artifact. It says courage is the only shield I need. This is probably the artwork I like the least of all the showcase foils, perhaps because it's so stylized with white, red and black colors. But it's still a pretty card. There's just a lot of competition for which is the most attractive of the lot. Merchant of the Vale is a red creature human peasant with this instant adventure, Haggle. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And then it's got the ability to discard a card and draw a card. Buying old, worn-out junk. selling marbles of real value. So this gives you quite a bit of flexibility in your deck, where if you've got a card in hand that isn't much use to you, you can effectively change it for a different one. Rimrock Knight is another card that was in the Cavalcade Charge deck. This is the alternate art for it. It's a Dwarf Knight creature with the Boulder Rush instant adventure. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And Rimrock Knight can't block, but it's got power 3 and toughness 1, so it's good at going on the offensive. We move on to the green cards. Beanstalk Giant is a giant creature. Costs 7 converted mana to cast, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Its adventure is Fertile Footsteps. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. I really like the art on this too. It's a curious pair. It's basically Hansel and Gretel approaching the witch's cottage, or some orphan children after a pie. It's a human peasant creature with treats to share. Create a food token as its adventure. And the quote is, "It's gingerbread like mother makes. What is there to be afraid of?" So I think it probably is Hansel and Gretel. I like the circular window or door. I think it's a window with a pie cooling on the side. It's a bit like a hobbit hole. Next we have Flaxen Intruder, which is Goldilocks from the Three Bears. And you can see on the art there's a bear on the wall, a bear rug, and a bearskin cloak on her. She's a human berserker creature who only costs 1 green mana to cast, but her Welcome Home adventure costs 7 converted mana, and it creates 3 2/2 green bear creature tokens. It says, whenever Flaxen Intruder deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment. The middle blade was just right. She's got foiling on her eyes, which makes her look quite demonic. Yaron Carver, a human warrior creature with Shield's Might as its instant adventure. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It says, countless knights of Garenbrig owe their lives to his peerless craftsmanship. And he appears to be carving shields out of wood. This is one of the best pieces of artwork in the set, I think. Lovestruck Beast, which was in the Final Adventure Challenger deck in my previous video. This again is the alternate art for it. It's a beast noble creature with Heart's Desire as its sorcery adventure. Create a 1/1 white human creature token, and it cannot attack unless you control that 1/1 creature or another 1/1 creature. It's a 5/5, and it only costs 3 converted mana to cast, so it's pretty good value. It says his mind chose solitude, but his heart disagreed. So this is basically Beauty and the Beast in magic card form. Here's the Beast, and here's Beauty, the 1/1 white human. Rosethorn Acolyte, an elf druid creature. Its adventure is Seasonal Ritual, add 1 mana of any colour, and its ability is add 1 mana of any colour. So like a lot of green spells, this is good at boosting your mana pool. It says, old battlefields make great gardens, so rich from the blood of the fallen. Two-in-Vale Treefolk, a treefolk druid creature. Its adventure is Oaken Boon. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. And it says, right now you are a feeble stick, but I will help you grow some rings. Costs 6 converted mana to cast, and is a 6/5 creature. Lastly, we have the multicolored white or green card. Oakhame Ranger, an elf knight creature. You can see the elf riding on the back of a fox. Its adventure is Bring Back, which allows you to create 2/1/1 white human creature tokens, which I think you can see on the back of this giant fox, behind the elf. And its ability is tap. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. And that's the end of the 30 showcase foils. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this set. I think they're really some of the best cards that Magic have made, in terms of the artwork at least. And some of them are quite powerful cards and see use in decks that win quite a lot in the metagame. Brazen Borrower being one, Lovestruck Beast being another. Bonecrusher Giant is also quite popular. Murderous Rider, another popular card. Here's the Brazen Borrower again, the most expensive card in the deck. And we're back to the white cards. If you'd like me to make more Magic the Gathering videos, please let me know in the comments section. Also, I apologize again for the sound quality of this video. I still haven't managed to figure out how to capture audio and video in a simple and straightforward way, so I'm probably going to have to do it in a regular way by connecting my Blue Yeti to my PC, recording audio and video separately. Thanks for watching this video, and good night.